Welcome back to another video, y'all. Today we have the best goalie in NHL 24 so far. And real quick before we get into it, if you're just here for the goalie build, I will have the timestamp down below. But if you're a constant supporter of the channel and you've been around for a bit and you did see the player build series in NHL 23, it's going to be making a return, but there's going to be a couple of changes this year. So this is going to be the last best build I do for right now, considering the whole player builder is exactly the same from NHL 23 to NHL 24, with the slight exception of goalies. There's a little bit of a difference, but all the attributes and stuff are pretty much the same. All the thresholds, all that good stuff is exactly the same from NHL 23 to 24. So I obviously had to come up with some kind of way to mix up the player build series. So as y'all now see, this is the, not I'm gonna say official yet, because we obviously still need some more challenge and stuff, but this is the challenge wheel for the player build series this year. Now obviously some players do have their signature moves like your Connor Bedard toe drag release, and we will make challenges out of those, but this is for the players that didn't have any kind of specific feat or any kind of specific move that we could really recreate and make a challenge out of. Now I definitely decided that we're going to have a challenge every single episode, but that's not all. When y'all do see the video, y'all will be seeing the first 2 games that I play on the build. I won't be skipping around trying to get the best games. I will be going for the challenge in the first 2 games, and if we do not complete it, we will have to come over here and spin the punishment wheel. Now, obviously, both of these wheels are looking a little bit empty and definitely need some more filling up. Along with, when I do make goalie builds, there will be a goalie challenge wheel specific for goalies that will obviously have different challenges, because we're not scoring 3 spinorama goals on a goalie or anything like that. So we will have to make specific goalie challenges. So with that being said, not only do I need y'all to do me a huge favor and comment any of your favorite players that you want to see me recreate in the SHL down below, but also comment any challenges for both skaters and goalies that we can do for this year, and also some punishments that aren't too harsh, because we do have the potential of doing them every single week if we continue to fail challenges, but also obviously we want it to be a punishment. So make sure I'm getting punishment, but we don't want it to be too harsh, since it will be weekly. Now the reason I've been holding off on a goalie build for a little bit is because I've been waiting for them to fix the tether and kind of give up the customization with the old goalie system, so that I could give y'all a legitimate build. Because if I like one build with the tether system and then they take it out and I need to make a whole new goalie build, that kind of defeats the purpose, because most people aren't going to be using the original default settings, because I know most people didn't like them. So this is what I'm rocking with. I go default goalie controls, manual goalie covers, and manual hug post, of course, because auto hug post, if y'all played with the old controls, you know auto hug post is hands down the most annoying thing that they added this year, no doubt. And then I rock with a hybrid tether. I'm honestly not 100% sure really what the hybrid tether is. It kind of feels like it just keeps me home in the net. I find myself kind of drifting sometimes, and the hybrid tether doesn't make it so I'm always fighting against like the tether system, but it kind of feels like it kind of just keeps me in check and keeps me in my net where I need to be most of the time. And now finally, without further ado, we are finally making the actual goalie build. I'm super sorry for the delay. I try not to talk like that, but we are going to make the archetype for this goalie a hybrid. I know some people prefer butterfly, but hybrid feels like it gives me the best mix of high and low attributes. Feels like it gives me the best mix of high and low saves. So I rock with hybrid goalie. And for height, obviously tall goalies are always the waves in ESHL. So we're going 6'5" and we're going 205 pounds, just to give us a little bit more on our rebound control and a little bit more on our durability. I know it kind of takes off our endurance, speed, agility a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that. Then handedness, whatever hand you decide to catch with is completely up to you. I go with lefty, but like I said, it's personal preference, and abilities and boosts we will come back to as always. For your first attributes, your low attributes, you just want to add 1 to both glove low and stick low, then take 2 off your 5-hole. I know 81's a little bit low for 5-hole, but I promise y'all I have not been getting scored on a whole lot 5-hole this year, and we will increase that a little bit more later in the build. Next, for your hands attributes, all you want to do is add 1 to glove high, 1 to stick high, then take 3 off your passing. After that, for your quickness attributes, this is the most different attribute category from NHL 23 to NHL 24 for all builds, and the reason being is because skater builds are exactly the same from NHL 23 to NHL 24. There is literally no difference. all the attribute categories are the exact same, but for goalies, they actually did add 3 new attributes this year. The first one being angles, as y'all see over in the positioning attributes, and we will talk about that more when we get there. The second one being endurance, which is how much energy your goalie has at his max energy point, and also how fast you will regain that energy. And on the flip side, your durability attribute, which is how much reduction you will get when you do get your energy drained. Now, what I decided to do was I simply just decided to add 1 to agility, 1 to durability, 1 to endurance. Then I just took 4 off poke check because I feel like poke check for your goalie isn't that important of an attribute, because I don't really use the poke checks a whole lot. Sometimes I'll flying poke very occasionally, but if you are somebody who does like to poke check and flying poke check a lot and utilize that part of your game, I would definitely recommend using all or nothing, because that will help you out way more than using any kind of specific attribute or numbered attribute for your poke check. And last but not least, for your positioning attributes. Now, your angles, what this does is basically with the new feature they added where you can guess where the shooter is going to shoot while holding L2 or LT if you're on Xbox, this will give you even more of a boost while using that. So what I decided to do for this category was I added 2 to recover, I added 1 to rebound control, and 1 to angles, because I've really been making it a habit to use that instinct feature because it feels super helpful. I feel like I'm stopping way more shots when I actually do use it, and angles, having a higher attribute for that, is only going to help that more. Then I decided to take 4 off vision and 2 off breakaway. Now, going back to your abilities, for your zone ability for your goaltending build, like I said, if you're not an avid poke checker, I don't recommend all or nothing. If you're like me, I would say use one of these 2, either post to post or butterfly effect. They feel like the 2 most effective abilities for your zone ability as a goalie, in my opinion. If y'all think any different, let me know down in the comments below, but that's definitely what I think, and I decided to go with post to post just to try and help avoid those one-timers a little more. Now, for our superstar abilities, obviously there's a lot that you can go with here. If you wanted to increase your 5-hole and maybe get yourself butterfly effect, you're more than welcome to do that, of course, but I decided to rock with 2 abilities that we don't have to do anything for. One of them being instincts, because like I said, I'm really making it a habit to use that feature as much as possible and try and guess where the shooter's going to go. And even when I guess wrong, I feel like most of the time, as long as I'm in a decent position, I'll still make the save. And when I guess right, I'm literally guaranteed to make the save. I have not guessed right and had a shot go in on me yet. So that's why I've been rocking with that. Now, for the other one, since this ability got added to the game, I've always thought this was one of the best abilities, and it's just to kind of counter the close quarters, snipe, and shock and awe wrist shots that you may encounter from these sniper builds and stuff like that. And that is, of course, light work, and that just increases your reaction for wrist shots. And finally, for our boost, of course, for our first one, we decided to go with quick 5-hole because, like I said, I know 81's a little low, 83 is even a little low, but I feel like I'm not getting scored on a whole lot 5-hole this year. Knock on wood, let me not jinx myself. But until I start getting scored on 5-hole a whole lot, I'm just gonna kind of keep that where it is for now. Then for the other one, we decided to go with recovery cardio, and this gives us +3 to our endurance. And the reason for that is I just wanted to have more energy on my goalie. I feel like if you can have more energy on your goalie, this will help you out a lot more when the other team gets full pressure and stuff like that. It'll make you drain your energy slower, and it'll increase your max energy. So I feel like that will definitely be helpful. And that is how we created the best goalie build in ESHL 24. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to drop a like, comment any NHL players you want to see me recreate in ESHL down below. We're going to be starting that series up again soon, and I'm also going to need some challenges and some little punishments as well from y'all. So if you could comment some of those down below, I would really appreciate that. And sub with noties on so you don't miss your favorite players in the future, because when I tell y'all the player build series is going to be absolute heaters this year, y'all, I promise y'all that. With that being said, I greatly appreciate y'all boys watching. Hope to see y'all boys in the next one, and I appreciate you watching. Peace.